Hello everybody, it's your pal Gracious E.V.A here, and welcome back to another chill speed paint video. This artwork is some artwork that I actually made a little bit ago. It took me a little bit to post it here for several reasons. But yeah, this is artwork of my characters Xavier and Gaming. I've shown them on here before. I actually have updated their designs recently to be more or less just my own original characters now. For context, these two actually started out as Genshin Impact fan characters. Xavier was a Pyro Catalyst character from Fontaine, way before Fontaine was even released, and Gaming was an Electro polearm user from E.V.A, who was supposed to be an ex-Adeptus. And then I converted them to be as if they were from Honkai Star Rail, so I gave them more like sci-fi futuristic designs. And I believe I said, obviously they still keep their same elements, but I believe I said Xavier would have been Nihility type and Gaming would have been Destruction type. I think. I don't quite remember. But yeah, now I've sort of converted them to be part of my Miracle universe, which is just the universe where I put all of my characters that I really like but can't put into my main project and shoving them in there. So yeah, this is an artwork. For this artwork, I've actually had the thumbnail of this for a while, and I believe I had planned for it for some different characters that I had, but I decided to go ahead and use these two for this thumbnail instead, since I thought it also fit. The anatomy of this was pretty hard to figure out. I really wish I had used some 3D models because that would have made it a lot easier, but I think I was just feeling lazy and didn't want to deal with having to pose them. Yeah, I had to like keep adjusting their poses as I drew them. One thing that I wasn't quite sure on at first was drawing all of Gaming's dragon features. Gaming is a dragon, and when he's in his like human form, he keeps his tail and horns. I wasn't sure if I wanted to keep that or do something slightly different, but I decided to add them in. And for Xavier's just because Xavier, he doesn't need any changes. He is supposed to be human for the most part. He's got some lore stuff, but that's for a different video. Yeah, this was really fun to create because later on I'm gonna add a really cool lighting effect where the flare from the sun, which is gonna be behind them, is gonna come directly in between their faces and light up their faces in a way where it's like the light is directly coming in between them, if that makes sense. You'll see later on. And I actually decided to do so to roughly color the background beforehand, so I made sure I knew where the shadows were going to be and what the values were going to be while I worked on it. The background actually ended up being pretty easy. Because there's not much going on. It's just the ground and the sky, and then there's them. They're the main focus of the picture after all. And I really liked how the sketch turned out, so I decided to line it with the same brush that I use for sketching, so more of my painterly style of rendering and drawing. And for the sky, I decided to use my patented sunset colors. Not my patented, but the ones I use most often in my art. I use these colors a lot. They're very fun. When rendering these two, I've tried really hard to keep the contrast looking okay. I think I might have gone a bit too dark in the shadows, but I don't think I went like super duper dark, which is good. I honestly might have just gotten a bit too bright in the faces. I might have went too hard on the light, which makes the shadows look even darker. But yeah. While drawing Xavier here as well, I gave him like a little bit of sheer clothing, and I think I might have given Gaming some as well. And yeah, the grass was surprisingly fun to paint when I get to that. It was, I think I used a slightly different technique than I usually use, and yeah, it was really fun to paint and draw. And the lighting was I knew the lighting was gonna be really fun because I have this cool dapple light brush which creates like a rainbow flare effect that you can see sometimes on cameras. I use the same brush for a drawing I made of Hope a while back, and I used that same technique here. And in the layouts, I think what I had some flowers in the layouts, but I forgot to add them in the sketch. So towards the very end, I'm actually gonna add some last minute flowers, and I literally just used a brush for that. I used a brush, and then I made sure that it was all a solid color, and then I rendered it really quickly to be like a rough painterly style. Actually, and really like how that looks. It's like very simple, like, you know, they're flowers, but they're not taking attention away from the main focus, which are these two. Yeah, even while doing the line art as well, I still struggled with the anatomy, especially Gaming's arm. His arm gave me issues, but I was able to get that right. I was able to get like his hand and everything correct, and then I move on to the rendering. I don't have too much to say about the rendering other than the fact that I was keeping in mind that the main light source was going to be directly in between them, because that was the main plan, for this. And yeah, I don't really have much to say about this piece other than the fact that I did something different with the lighting. So I think I'm going to go ahead and let the rest play out, and I will see you towards the end. as you can see here, I'm adding in some post colorization now. And yeah, like I said, I used the brushes and stuff that I wanted to create that lens flare look. And yeah, even though I do think the anatomy might be like still a bit slightly off, like with their profiles, I always struggle with profile shots when it comes to the head. I still need to work on that a little bit, but I still really like how the rest of this piece turned out. I think hopefully the rendering kind of makes up for that. And yeah, that's pretty much it for this video. If you have any other questions regarding the rendering of this, let me know. If you want to see more videos like this, you can subscribe and leave a like. I have all my normal social media stuff in the description below, and my Etsy shop where you can find cool stuff like this. And yeah, that's it for me. I'll see you in the next video. Bye!